Okay, let's just get right into this video. Hi muckers, welcome back. We are going to be doing part 2 of the He Doesn't Love You series. So again, just want to open this with take your time if you do want to watch this, because these are incredibly dark, and if something doesn't feel right to watch, then you do not have to be here. There are other things to watch. It'll depend based on, you know, person to person, watching this kind of stuff. But I do just kind of want to, at the start, put a little PSA out there that if this one gets too heavy, don't feel bad for walking away from watching it. Because even I had to, you know, pause at the end of part 1. But anyways, let's get to part 2 of Kayla's series, okay?
These never get less scary to start. These so hard. This is always so hard to do. The beginning's always the hardest part. So I'm just gonna jump right into it, or try to. As you guys know, 4 days ago, for the first time, I opened up about how for the past 9 months I've been in an abusive relationship, and I posted He Does Not Love You Part 1, and I shared the first half of my story, and now it's time to tell the second half. But this part is gonna be
crazy that there is a second part as well. Like, part 1 was
a little different. I'm not gonna edit this one. I don't have time to edit this one because I had originally filmed part 2 the day after filming part 1, but I lost those files. So I'm sitting here filming this, and I'm going to post it immediately after. But with that being said, this has been one of the hardest past few days, in the best ways and the worst ways. I've been in denial with this whole situation since it happened, when it was happening, after it happened, and I've just been in denial. Like, I refuse that this was the reality of the situation and that this had actually happened to me. And up until 4 days ago, it became a reality because I'm talking about it and posting about it. I don't even know how to put it into words. Like, it's like I didn't believe that this had actually happened. It almost felt like a dream, or like everything that happened was just like a movie and it wasn't my life. But these past few days, it's literally just snapped me into reality that this shit has happened, because I feel like the way that I deal with trauma is trauma blocking, and I try to forget that it ever happened. But I've been forced to live in it and deal with it the past few days. And
again, I talked about this in my part 1, but what people don't realize when, you know, people speak forward about situations that they've gone through, there's a period of, you know, dealing with it and trying to process it whenever it happens to you, and then after, you know, it happens to you, and then whenever you start telling your friend, it's a different process. When you tell, you know, it's you're constantly reliving it in different ways, and then telling it publicly on social media with that many people's responses. I so believe that social media was not supposed to be a thing, because, like, we are not supposed to know this many people's day-to-day opinions, or we're not supposed to know that this many people exist, and knowing so much about little people and comment sections, hundreds of thousands of people being able to comment on your life. Like, we were not, in my opinion, programmed for that to be normal. So then you have to reprocess it again whenever you're telling the public.
As much as it sucks, it's something that I'm grateful for, because I'm not just doing it for me, I'm doing it for us. And I've received a lot of messages since I posted part 1, with people sharing the same story, and it's fucking insane to me how many people have gone through the same thing. And that is why I'm doing this. This is literally why I'm doing this, to tell our story. This is for the people that are going through this right now. This is for the people that will never go through this. Sorry. I'm sorry, that was a bad time to cough. This is for the people that will never have to go through this because they see this video. This is for the people that have gone through this. This is for you. This is for us. And as much as it sucks that I went through this, I'm grateful that there's a reason that I did. It's to help everybody else and share my story. Like I said a million times, this is not just my story. This is your story. This is our story.
That's heavy.
I've said it before, but I would do this a million times over if it meant that nobody else had to.
Wow.
And it scares me to think that if it wasn't me in that situation, and if it was somebody else, I wonder if they would have stayed until they died, until they got killed. Because I know if I didn't leave when I did, it would have gotten to that point. But this is the second half of my story, and I'm not done talking about my story after this. I don't know when I'll be done.
Yep.
I don't think there is even a time to be done.
Yep. And I don't want to hear their fucking opinion on that, because if you did not live it, it is not your story to dictate when is, you know, start and finish talking about something or processing it too much. Shut up. Didn't happen to you.
I don't know. It's just scary. But I'm gonna jump straight into part 2, and I have all the dates once again written on this whiteboard. So if you see me keep looking over here, it's just so that I know the dates of everything. So okay, I'm pretty sure I ended off the last video with the story about the nightclub, and I don't think I got into the night time of that time, of that experience. So this was October 24th, 2024. Sorry, I'm like sick right now. God, this was October 24th, 2024. I told this story in part 1, but I'll brief through it to get to where this part comes into play. So basically, me, my roommate Emma, Brennan, and my boyfriend had went out to a nightclub for my friend's birthday. And my boyfriend was convinced that my friend Brennan wasn't gay, even though he is. And events took place that night that led him to get aggressive and get physical with me and Brennan because he was convinced that we were hooking up. He forced me to twerk on Brennan, forced me to say I wanted to F Brennan, tried to get Brennan to say that he wasn't actually gay and was just threatening us, and then took us into a back room to talk, and then ended up throwing us into a pile of chairs until somebody had walked in, and then he had walked out.
Now, something that's really fascinating about that is right after this, there's so many new things that have happened in the story, and one of them is involving James Charles, allegedly sleeping with, you know, the ex. And for the ex's fascination about gay people proving that they're gay and all, like...
So basically, the moral of that whole scenario was basically that my boyfriend at the time was just convinced that my gay best friend wasn't gay and thought that I was hooking up with him and cheating on my boyfriend with him. So that was that time. That was like that part of the night. So after he had thrown us into the chairs, I go to the bar, and at this point I just start throwing back shots because I couldn't believe that he had just gotten physical with me and my best friend. And I'm not exactly sure what had happened on the way home. I don't even know if we took the same Uber home. I really don't know. But I remember I got back home, and immediately me and my boyfriend just start arguing, and he's accusing me once again of being a whore, a slut,
God,
cheating on him with Brennan, calling me every name in the book, everything you could think of. So we're just arguing, going back and forth, and
so exhausting.
I remember I also thought that I was home alone. I did not know that my roommate Emma was home, so we're just going at it. And at this time, he had gotten physical with me a handful of times before. So I didn't want to escalate the situation further, especially since I thought I was home alone, and he was obviously intoxicated and had already gotten literally physical with me that night in a public setting with my friend. So I didn't want to push it any further. So he's screaming at me, "You're a slut, you're a whore, you want to F Brennan, you want to F Brennan, you want to F Brennan." So after a while of arguing, I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. It's 4 a.m. I'm done. So I get in bed and I put the covers over me to act like I'm sleeping. To act like I'm sleeping, so that hopefully he will just go into the living room and sleep on the couch, because how are you going to argue with somebody that's sleeping? So I lay down, and he's just yelling at me, and I'm not responding. I'm acting like I'm asleep. And then I just hear him yelling. He's yelling, getting closer. He's walking closer to the bed. And then he gets on top of me. Gets on top of me while I'm laying in bed. And he basically just keeps yelling at me, and he's like, "How are you going to ignore me now, bitch? You're not going to ignore me now, bitch. Listen to me. You're not going to ignore me now, bitch." And, oh my God, I actually have anxiety. That's when he starts to strangle me.
Oh my gosh.
He puts both of his hands around my neck, and I'm laying down like this, and he's on top of me like this, and I'm laying down, and he's choking me with both of his hands. His whole body weight is just on my neck, and I've never felt that before in my life. Oh my God. So he's just sitting there strangling me, and I remember I open my eyes, and he's like staring me in the face while he's doing this, and his hands are just around my neck, and he's choking me, and I couldn't breathe, and I start like kicking my arms and wailing my legs, and I'm just like trying to like get him off of me, but he's on top of me. I can't get him off.
Oh my God.
And I couldn't breathe. I'm just like, I can breathe. And my vision started to get fuzzy, and he was on top of, I don't even know how long he was on top of me for, but he was just staring me in the face. I couldn't breathe. And I remember once my vision started getting, I remember once my vision started to get blurry. I thought I was gonna die. And I know he was trying to kill me that night.
Oh my God.
He was just on top of me, strangling me. He wouldn't get off. And looking me in the face while he was doing it. And right before I felt like I was going to pass out, I tried to scream. And I didn't know anybody was home. I really thought it was just me and him. And genuinely, if my roommate Emma had not walked into this damn room, he would have killed. He was trying to kill me. He knew I couldn't breathe. I was like... So then, right as shit starts to go black, and I tried to scream, Emma walks into the room, my roommate, and she's like, "Get the F off of her, get the fuck off of her." And he jumps off of me, and he looks at her, starts cussing her out, and then walks away and goes sleeps on the couch. And
oh my God.
Emma looked at me, and I didn't want to admit to her what had just happened, so I looked at her and I was like, I don't know. And I took a video like 10 minutes after he had done this, and my neck was just all red. It was all red from him strangling me. It was just completely red. That's when I feel like he lost the thing in his brain, if it was ever there, to tell him to stop. You know, because he would always he would get physical with me. but I feel like he had this thing in his brain that would tell him when to stop.
Jesus Christ.
And like that night he didn't have it. Like it was gone. Like he was genuinely choking me to the point where he knew I couldn't breathe and was looking me in the face and like, and I know if Emma wasn't there, I wouldn't have woken up.
Jesus Christ.
So that was October 24th. The next morning, the same shit. He walked into my room and acted like nothing happened. And matter of fact, he was still mad at me. And so I had to apologize to him and say that I would never cheat on him.
Oh. Someone upstairs is going crazy. Yeah, there's just something so, like, I can't imagine living through this. Because hearing it is so... I can't imagine how exhausting it was to literally have to deal with someone like
Didn't mean
him.
to make him think that I wanted to F Brennan.
God.
But he never apologized.
And then she's apologizing for things that he's starting.
That night for that. So the next week, we basically... This was a time in my life where I feel like I was shutting down. And I had, at this point, completely lost myself. Like, I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't know what I wanted in life. I didn't know what my goals were anymore. I lost myself completely at this point. So for like the next few days, I was just inside with him watching movies or playing video games, and I like wouldn't leave my house. But I ended up having a jewelry drop with Spencer's November 1st, and that was October 24th. And I wanted to be in Nashville when everything had dropped, so that I was like in a fresh mindset. Because the house that I was living at this time he was living with me, just not officially. The house that we were all living at,
Fucking freeloader.
was just like, I mean, the vibes were just horrible. I mean, he had beaten me so many times in it, and I don't know. I just knew that I didn't want to be there for the drop of my collection. So
The house that she's paying for.
I told him that I wanted to get an Airbnb in Nashville and stay there for the drop and stay there like 3 days after so I could create content and really lock in on promoting this drop. So I was like, let's just spend Halloween weekend in Nashville. And then the day after Halloween's the drop, and then we'll stay there for 2 days and go back to California. And I'm pretty sure he also had like a probation check-in at that time. So it like just all lined up.
Of course.
So I'm not sure exactly what day we get down to Nashville, but we do. And we get invited to a party on October 30th. So we go to this party, and me and him arrive very, 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 very late to this party. We get there at like midnight, and it had started at like 10, and it was like just this house party. So we get there, and it's like a group of his friends that we meet up with. And we end up walking into this one house. So we like park his car, we get out, and we walk up to this one house with this group of friends. There's like maybe 7 of them, and then me and my boyfriend. And we walk into this house, and there is nobody there. Like, it is not a party, it's not a house party. There's like literally nobody there. There's like a girl sleeping on the couch, and like 3 girls in the kitchen, and like 2 guys. Like, there's maybe 5 people in this house, and it's just empty. So I'm looking around like, we showed up late. Let's just like go home. And I'm standing with like 4 of the guys from the friend group that we had met up with, while my boyfriend goes out to the backyard to see if anybody's back there, if that's where the party's at. And he walks out with like 2 of his friends. So I'm just standing there, and then my boyfriend walks out of the backyard being like, it's dead. And so his friend looks at me and goes, should we go? And I was like, yeah, like I don't think it's a party, we should go. And so said that. I want you to think about the conversation I just had. His friend looks at me, I think we should go. And I go, yeah, I think we should go. Turn around and walk out, and I assume my boyfriend is just right behind me. He is. So we get out of the house and we get back in my boyfriend's car, and I'm like, damn, well, that sucks. We didn't go to a party tonight, but whatever. Tomorrow's Halloween. We could go do something, and then the next day is my drop. Like, it's not the end of the world. And he looks at me and he's like, why were you ready to go only when my friend was ready to go?
Oh my God.
And I was like, what are you talking?
Again, there's no fighting it. There's no arguing with it. It is pure delusion, and it honestly is just... And the amount of people that have like witnessed him in this state as well is crazy.
Like, there was nobody at the house. Like, I was ready to go the second we walked in. Like, I was just agreeing with your friend that we should, like, it wasn't like I was sitting there having a heart.
And yet he keeps inviting her around his friends and stuff, but has an issue with anything she does with them. So
heartfelt conversation with, like, what are you talking about? And he's like, no, you only wanted to go because my friend was ready to go. I was like, what are you talking about? And so it just starts this like argument out of nothing. Like, literally like the same shit that happened on October 24th, where he was like, the way you touched Brennan's face when all I did was like go like this to whisper in his ear. It was the same thing. Why do you only want to leave when my friend wants to leave? I was like, what are you talking about? So he ends up pulling over on the side of the road, and he grabs my phone, and he's like, let me go through it. Let me make sure you didn't add him. And I'm like, okay, bro, whatever. So he goes on my Snapchat, obviously sees that I didn't add his friend. Like, I don't even know. So he sees that I didn't add his friend. And he's like, well, I'm gonna actually go through your phone, like your whole phone when we get home. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in the last part, but going through phones was like every day. Like, he would always go through my phone. There's a video of us on live of him going through my phone. Like, my phone was his phone. Like, he would just go through it whenever he wanted, and he would deep dive on it. He would go through text messages with me and my mom. Like, he would read absolutely everything.
By the way, this may be a controversial take, but I truly believe that when you resort to looking through your partner's phone on a daily basis, that at least in that moment, it can always be changed, but at least in that moment, your relationship is dead. Because why do you need to go... If you're going through it for the purpose of trying to find them doing something or whatever, it's an unpopular take. I know this because I know that a lot of couples have a thing where they go through each other's phones, and it's like a little kiki, and they know each other's, fucking passwords and all like this. No, that will not be happening in any relationship I would ever get into, nor has it been a thing in any of them. Never have I secretly looked through things. Never have I agreed to let someone look through mine. Like, I just find it, I don't know. So, just on this point of, like, couples going through phones, I don't find it normal.
So he's like, I'm actually gonna go through your phone when we get home. And I was like, okay, whatever, like, that's fine, but, like, why? Like, why? And so we start arguing about it, and I don't know how it got to the point where it did, but we just ended up yelling at each other, and then, like, at the car wash, he slammed my head into the window. Same thing, grabs my hair and slams my head into the window. So at that point, I opened the car door, and I'm like, I'm not fucking riding back with you if you're gonna put your hands on me for something I didn't even do anything. Like, what are you getting, like, physical with me for? Like, why did you just slam my head into the window for no fucking reason? And he's like, no, get the fuck back in the car, get the fuck back in the car. And he had my phone in his hand, and he's like, I'm not letting you have the phone. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, get back in the car now. And I'm like, then why did you why? Like, what made you just get physical with me? So I'm standing out in the middle of the street. I don't have a phone. What the fuck am I gonna do? So I get back in the car, and it's like an hour car ride back to his house, and I wasn't allowed to have my phone. I wasn't allowed to hold my phone. I wasn't allowed to do anything on it. So he just had my phone, and we rode back in complete silence. And when we're like 15 minutes away from the Airbnb, he looks at me and he's like, did you bring your second phone to Nashville? And I have like 3 phones. This phone that I'm recording on, and my 2 other phones that are like broken and dead, but I just keep them because I have like pictographs on them. And I brought it with me to Nashville so that I could post videos from when I recorded like my Spencer's drop at the studio, because I had my old phone at the time, doesn't matter, whatever. But I had my old phone. And I was like, yeah, I brought it. And he's like, well, I want to go through that too. So I'm like, okay.
Oh my God.
So we get back to the Airbnb. He looks at me and he goes, I want you to come back down here with that phone still dead. I don't want you to have turned it on. I don't want you to have unlocked it. Like, I want that phone dead. I'm gonna charge it in the car and go through it. So I have to go down, bring him my old phone. So now he has both of my phones, and I take a shower, I watch a movie all the way through. He is in the garage going through my phone for 3 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Goes through both phones for 3 hours. And at this point, I'm in the room just like sobbing because I just didn't understand what I did. He had slammed my head up against the car window, was calling me a slut whore, and now has both of my phones, all because I said I was ready to go back home when his friend, I agreed with his friend. That's all I did. All I did was agree with his friend. So after 2 hours, it's like 3 a.m. at this point, he comes back into the room holding both of my phones, and throws them at me, throws them like, right on me. And gets in bed and just like is smiling and scrolling on reels on his phone. And I'm like, so, and he's like, nothing, good night. And I'm like,
Jesus fucking Christ. The constant punishing, trying to find something, blowing up in a huge fight, more times than not physical, versus just like starting all that, trying to cause a problem, and then seeing that you're looking for something where there's not, and then just like being like, okay, good night.
So, like I don't know. The story just like always fucks with me. Like, that's why I'm sharing it. 'Cause it's like, what the fuck? And like the way he walked back in the room, he was just like smiling, like he just didn't care. Like, I don't fucking know. I don't know. I just don't know. That was just weird. And then we wake up the next morning, and we went to a Halloween party. I don't know. Maybe that story's not important, but it's just the taking my phone for 2 hours, and I don't know. It was just weird. I don't know. It was just weird. It was just weird. And the way it's fucking like toxic weird.
And again, it's like, it's about control. But also just, I can't. I need him to suffer.
Also, never apologized for slamming my head up again. He never apologized for anything that he did, but whatever.
Like, what the fuck?
So, yeah, like I said, the next day is Halloween. We go to a Halloween party, and then November 1st is my drop with Spencer, so I basically just lock in and do that. And
again, doing this all to your girlfriend while she's going through like really amazing work opportunities as well, and making the moments all about you, narcissistic, by the way.
And then like November 5th, we end up flying back to California, and I can't remember if anything had really happened within this time. I know the same verbal abuse and stuff like that, but I'm just gonna fast forward to November 17th. I haven't talked about the story yet. There's multiple witnesses to this one, but this is one of the most traumatizing days of my life for a lot of reasons. November 17th, 2024, we got invited to a birthday party, and it was like a birthday party at this house. It was like a really big mansion in the Beverly Hills, and we had all gotten on the list to go, so obviously we were gonna go. So me, Emma, and my boyfriend arrived at this party, and within the first 10 minutes of being there, I don't know where he went. So I'm just talking to all my girlfriends, I'm catching up with them, and I remember this night, I did not drink anything besides 2 twisted teas before we had left, because at this party they only had tequila and vodka. Really off topic, but I can't drink anything besides Fireball, so I just was like, I'm not gonna drink. So
you can't drink anything besides Fireball? I would rather drink anything but Fireball. If anyone remembers me on fucking Fireball Friday.
I'm like completely sober, and So I'm just catching up with my girlfriends. I'm talking to Emma, and I see my boyfriend in like the very corner of the house, like talking to this group of guys that I've never met before. But I was like, whatever, he needs to make some friends. Sorry, that was funny. So I see him over there, and I'm like, okay. I'm gonna go outside with my girlfriends. So he'll definitely meet me out there. So I go downstairs and I go into the backyard, and there's just like these people on stilts doing like dances, and like people are dancing, and there's a DJ. So I'm just out there dancing with my friends, having a good time. And like 45 minutes passes, and I realize that I have not seen my boyfriend at all. And I'm like, where is he? Because this is like very not common for him. At any party we would go to, he would like have to be hip to hip with me, otherwise he would think I was cheating. Like I was not allowed to leave my boyfriend's side when we went out. So I was like, where did he go? Like why is he not calling me, texting me? Like I was just really confused. So I try to call him, it goes to voicemail. I don't, like, he just wasn't answering. So I'm pretty sure I end up, like, going back inside, and I see him, like, with a bottle of Golden Goose, and he's just, like, completely obliterated. And so we end up, like, walking up the stairs, and we go to this balcony, and he just starts projectile vomiting all over, like, this balcony and, like, off the balcony. And I'm like, okay, can't do that. Like, this is a house. Like, we can't just projectile vomit. So I'm like, let's go to the bathroom so you can actually throw up. And he's, like, so obliterated, like, he can't even walk. Like, I've never in my life seen somebody this drunk. Like, there's no words for it. So I end up like taking him up to, it's like 3 stories of this house, and so I'm walking him up the 3rd story to like the top floor where the bathroom is and like the front door and everything, and I'm walking him up, and he just projectile vomits all over the floor, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? I was gone for 45 minutes. Like, what could you have possibly done in this time? So I end up like trying to get him into the bathroom. He's refusing to get into the bathroom, and that's when security comes up to me, because this house party, it's LA, it had security. So they go up to me and they're like, hey, he's way too messed up. Like, you're gonna have to take him home. And at this point, we'd only been at the party for like an hour. So I'm like pissed off, and I'm like, whatever. He is obviously way too obliterated to be here. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go take him outside and call an Uber. So I take him outside, and he just immediately lays down on this like grass patch. I really wish I could insert a picture. And he's just like laying on this grass patch, and his head's back, and he's just like looking like he's asleep. And so that's when Emma and these 2 other girls come up to me, and they're like, is he like okay? And I'm like, I don't know. I've never seen him this messed up before. And the girl's like, well, my friend's saying that she saw him chug an entire bottle of Golden Goose. Or Grey Goose, whatever that vodka's called. I just, like, they had seen him chug an entire bottle of it downstairs.
What?
And I'm like, great, so that explains it. He's just like belligerently drunk.
Holy fuck.
At that point, I'm like, okay, well, it's just one of those nights. I'm gonna have to take him home, whatever. So I end up calling an Uber, and while I'm waiting for the Uber, he starts throwing up like red stuff on the mulch on the ground, and I'm like, what is that? So I think it's blood, and people around me think it's blood, other people think it's Takis, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I go to call 911 because I was getting really concerned at this point, and the bouncer comes up to me, he's like, no, we have a medic on site, like, they'll take a look at him. So the medic comes up, and they like examine him, they talk to him for like 15 minutes, and they come up to me, and they're like, he's perfectly fine, he's just drunk. And I'm like, okay, and they're like, yeah, that's like red food dye, like, you're fine. I'm like, okay. So
Rad 40.
basically just told me to get him home. So the Uber ends up arriving, and it takes 4 grown men to carry his body into the back of the Uber. And so he's on this side, I'm on this side, and we're on the way back to my house. And the house party that we were at, just so that this makes more sense, it is very, very deep in the hill. So it's like 20 minutes up the hill and then 20 minutes down the hill until you even get onto the main road in Ventura. So he's driving down this hill, and there's traffic from people leaving the party. It's just like, it's a shit show. And the whole time, my boyfriend's in the back just like moaning and groaning and like opening the door and trying to like jump out of the car and like throw up. And I'm like, what is going on? So I'm having to try to help him, and it's just like dead weight. He's trying to open the door, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So the Uber is like, is he okay? And I'm like, yeah, like the medic said he was just really drunk. Like, I don't know. Like, he was gone for 30 minutes. Like, I don't know like what happened. So we end up getting to the bottom of the hill, and we turn onto Ventura, the main road, like literally immediately turn down. And we're maybe 15, 20 minutes away from my house at this point. And all of a sudden he looks at me, and he's like, I can't breathe. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't breathe? Like, or what do you mean? And he's like, I can't breathe. And you know, I've said that to him before, and he never cared, but I cared. So I was like, what are you talking about? And so that's when the Uber's like, hey, I'm hearing what's going on. Like, I'm gonna pull over. So the Uber driver pulls over, and that's when I go to check his pulse, and I don't feel anything. And I'm like, what the fuck? So on his car side door, he's facing oncoming traffic. So I'm on the side by the sidewalk on the side of Ventura, and I grab his limp body, and I'm dragging him to my side of the Uber. The door's open. I'm trying to get him on pavement, and half of his body is in the Uber, half of the body's leaning out onto the pavement, and the Uber starts to check his pulse and doesn't feel anything. He's like, call 911, call 911. So I get on the phone with 911.
Oh my god.
And I'm telling them that my boyfriend is not breathing, and they're like, okay, we're sending an ambulance on the way. So at that point, I start to give him CPR. And I'm on the side of Ventura Highway at midnight,
oh my god.
giving him CPR. And at that point, he begins to have a seizure. And what looked like, I don't know if it was, it might have still been just the red food coloring, starts coming out of his mouth. So there's just like blood coming out of his mouth, and he's seizing on the side of Ventura Highway. And so I'm sitting there giving him CPR, sucking the blood out of his mouth.
Oh my god.
And 15 minutes later, the paramedics arrived. And at that point, he had woken up, he was breathing. And so they grab him, and they bring him into the ambulance. And I call an Uber to the hospital, and by the time I get there, they're not telling me anything that's going on. I have no idea what's going on with him, and I'm just freaking out. I call his mom, I call his dad, I call my mom, my dad, because I don't know what to do. It's like 3 a.m. at this point, and I had just basically seen him die, and I was so fucking traumatized. Like to this day, like when I drink with people, like literally one of my friends today, or not today, a few days ago, was like drunk and was like acting like he was passed out. Like I actually freaked out. Like I can't. Like that shit traumatized me.
Christ.
So I'm in there just freaking out. I don't know what to do, and then all of a sudden, I get a text from his phone number, and it says, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "What?" Like mind you, it's only been an hour since he was checked into the hospital. So he calls me, and he's like, hey, and he sounds perfectly fine. And he's like, hey, where are you at? Like, I just got out of the hospital. Like, where are you? Let's go home. And I'm like,
Is that what he sounds like?
what do you mean you're ready to go home? And he's like, let's go. So 5 minutes later, he walks out of the doors into the waiting room. And he's walking, he's talking, he's fine. The nurse walks back in, nobody tells me anything. To this day, I have no idea what they did in the hospital. He tells me that they pumped his stomach, but after talking to nurses and stuff, he wouldn't have only been in there for an hour if that's what happened. But I don't know. I don't know what happened. So I end up calling us an Uber back home. And while we're in the Uber, he's talking to me perfectly fine. And I'm like, do you understand what just happened? And he's like, yeah, whatever.
Jesus.
And I'm just like in the Uber sobbing, and I'm like, that is the scariest thing I've ever seen. Like, what happened? And he's like, I don't know. I think I was roofied or something. Like, I don't know. Spoiler alert. We did a drug test. He did not take any drugs. He did not get roofied. It was none of that. He ended up drinking too much. He drank too much.
Oh my God.
He drank an entire bottle of Grey Goose that night. Vodka within 30 minutes of being there.
What the fuck?
So anyways, we get back home, and we're laying in bed, and I'm just...
Also, the one thing that's really exhausting about this as well is the way that he deems he's allowed to act, but Kayla's not allowed to do anything. You know what I mean? She's not allowed to have fun at a party because, oh, she's cheating, but, oh, I'm allowed to make myself so paralytically drunk that you have to take me to the hospital, but that's okay.
Just like talking to him, and I'm explaining to him what happened and how scared I was, and just everything, and I was kind of just crying to him. And that's when he looks at me and he goes, I'll never fucking forget this. He looks at me and he goes, do you think I should stop drinking? And I'm like, yeah, I think you should stop drinking. And he's like, okay, well then you should stop drinking. And I'm like, dude, I've been sober all night. Like, I don't have a drinking problem. Like, this, like, I'm fine. I'm fine. If I go out, I'm still gonna drink. Like, no, but you need to stop. And it was like a switch flipped. And he looks at me and he's like, what the fuck do you mean? And I'm like,
what the... Okay. This is unlike anything I've ever heard before. And again, it's like, oh, do you think I should stop drinking? Yeah, okay, well, you stop drinking as well. Why am I involved? You know what I mean?
What? And he's like, you think I have a fucking problem with drinking? You think I'm a fucking alcoholic? What the fuck's wrong with you? And he starts like screaming at me, and he's like, you're a slut, you're a whore, fuck you,
Oh
and just starts screaming at me. So I get up, and I'm like, are you serious right now? Are you serious? I just gave you CPR on the side of Ventura to try to resuscitate you, and you're sitting here screaming at me, calling me all like, I just saved your life tonight, and you're sitting here calling me these names? If I sent you in that Uber alone, you would have from alcohol poisoning, and you're sitting here verbally abusing me, calling me a whore, a slut, like saying that I mean nothing to you, like that you're gonna go F your ex, like, oh, are you kidding me? So I look at him and I'm like, I'm not sleeping with you tonight. You can have my bedroom, but I'm sleeping on the couch. I'm not doing this. Like, you have just like blown my mind right now, and I know you're sober. I know you're fucking sober right now. So I walk out of the room and I go lay on the couch.
Whoa.
And within 5 minutes of me being on the couch, I hear him open my bedroom doors.
Oh gosh.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to try. I hear him open my bedroom doors, and he immediately just starts screaming at me. He's like, you're an effing slut. You're not sleeping on the couch. You're sleeping in the bed with me. Get the F up. You're sleeping on the bed with me. You're sleeping on the bed with me. Get the F up. You're not sleeping on this couch. And I'm like, I'm not. You just disrespected the out of me. Like, I'm not going anywhere near you. I'm not sleeping in that room with you after what you just said. I'm not gonna sit there and cuddle with you. Like, are you serious? And so he just keeps screaming at me and getting closer. And at this point, he's like right up here on the couch, and I'm like sleeping like this. And he's like, you're not sleeping on the couch. Get in the room with me now. And I'm like, no. And he's like, I effing hate you. I effing hate you. He grabs my arm and he tries to pull me up. And I'm like, no, I'm not going up with you. And
Goodness.
he moves to the end of the couch where my legs are. And he stands up on the couch. He looks me in the eyes and starts punching me as hard as he can everywhere. Fully cocking his arm back and swinging as hard as he can into my body. Punches me in my head, like everywhere, like I can't explain it. Like, he fully just cocking his shit back and swinging it into me as hard as he can.
Gosh. Oh my god. I need him to suffer.
And after he did it for about 20 seconds straight, I knew he wasn't gonna stop until I wasn't breathing. He just kept punching the fuck out of me. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs for him to stop. I'm screaming so fucking loud. But I knew nobody would hear me because I thought I was home alone. I'm just screaming, and he's looking me in the face as he's doing this, and his eyes are literally just like nothing in them. And he's just swinging and swinging and swinging, and I'm just screaming.
Oh my god.
And like, whenever he would hit me or put his hands on me, I could always like sense when it was dying down, like when it was like slowing down, like, you know, the punches were getting slower. He was, instead of punching, he would slap or like grab or kick or something, but he was punching me as hard as he could, and he wasn't stopping. I didn't feel like he was stopping. And I know that he wouldn't have stopped if, after a minute of this happening, Emma woke up, because this was right up against her wall, and heard me screaming and opened the door and saw him on top of me, fully swinging and punching me. So she walks out. I didn't even know she was home, and he gets off, and he just starts screaming at her, and he's like, fuck you, slut, to my roommate, and walks back into my room and slams the door. So at that point, I get up, and I'm just crying, and I didn't want to tell her what was happening, but I don't even know what I told her. because I refused to admit it to anybody at this point. I don't even know what I told her. And she was like, what is going on? Like, I woke up to you screaming. I was just like, I didn't know you were home. Thank God you were fucking home. Thank fucking God. Like, genuinely, if Emma was at home those 2 nights, this video would not be here, but I think there would have been a funeral. So, it's just crazy to think that, like, really, if she wasn't home, both of those fucking nights, I would not fucking be here. So, at that point, he walks back out of the room and starts saying the most disgusting things you could say to a person. Those videos are posted in part 1 at the end of the video, where he's saying I mean nothing to him. He starts talking really disgustingly about my body. He's just screaming, you mean nothing to me, you're a fucking slut, you mean nothing to me, I'm gone in the morning. Saying just horrible things about my body, and those are probably some of the worst things he's ever said to me.
God.
I take that back, not the worst, but pretty bad. So that night, so after he starts screaming those things, at the end of the video, you can see me go into Emma's room, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do, because at this point, I didn't want him in my room, because I thought he was going to start destroying my stuff, because he was so aggressive, and he had never really punched me like that before. So I go into Emma's room to talk to her, we close the door, and we lock it. Her room was the only room with a lock on it. So we go in there, and we're talking, and we hear him start coming back up towards Emma's room. And he's like, let me in, let me the F in, let me the F in. And we're like, no, no, we just saw what, like, she just saw what happened, and I just experienced what you just did, like, you're not coming back in.
Oh my God.
So at that point, he starts punching the wall as hard as he can. There's pictures of that on part 1 as well. He starts punching the door as hard as he can, to the point where there's holes in the door, and he ends up breaking the lock on the door, and he gets in. And me and Emma are leaning up against the bed, like, not knowing what he's gonna do, and he just starts screaming at us, saying, sluts, whores, we deserve it, stuff like that. So, we're just sitting there, and then Emma gets up to him and is like, get the F out of my room, you're crazy, get out of my room, like, do not touch her, get away from her. And so he grabs her vape, and then just walks out, and goes into my room and closes the door. And so I ended up going to bed on the couch, and I did not sleep until 7 a.m. because I was so scared that he was going to come out of that room and kick me while I was on the couch.
God, this is...
The next morning...
And oh. Someone's car. Oh, they fixed it. Again, the position that this puts all of the other people in Kayla's life who were then exposed to all this as well is just so devastating. I need him to suffer. I need him to fucking suffer.
Morning, we woke up and he said he remembered none of it.
Oh, and that as well. Getting out of having to apologize or address something by being like, well, I don't remember it. Or I was too drunk. Or I was too high. Or I was,
Actually just reminded me of this. Holy shit. Wow, I forgot about this one. This was back in July. I'm gonna speed through this one since it's out of timeline, but it kind of has to do with this. This is bad. This was sometime in July. I'm guessing end of July. It was his first week in California visiting me. So beginning of July. I don't know if I'm ready to talk about. This was hard. This was in July. I don't know the exact date. I could probably find it, but he had started to be really, really, really rude to me. This was like when he started to get really verbally aggressive, and once again, this was in July, so he hadn't gotten physical with me yet, but he was really being verbal. And I forgot what the argument was even about or how it started, but I'll never forget this. He looks at me, and this was when I was in a really bad mental space because my dad had just stopped talking to me. So I really didn't have a lot of people in my life at this point, especially my family wasn't in my life. My dad wasn't. And he looks at me, and he said, yourself. Looks me in the face and goes, yourself. And then hands me a bottle of pills.
Oh my God.
So I open them, and I pour about half of them in my mouth. And he looks at me, and he's like, did you actually just do that? And I'm like, yeah. So at that point, he comes over to me, and he like grabs my face, and I just spit them all over the floor. And so there's just pills all over the floor. And he's like, did you swallow any? And I was like, no, but like I'm crying at this point. And I'm like, do you not understand like what you just did? Like you just looked at me and told me to myself. Why are you acting concerned? And so he's like, I don't believe that you didn't take any. And I'm like, dude, I didn't take any. Like I didn't actually swallow any, but like I'm really upset with what you just said. So he goes on his phone, and he's like, I'm calling 911. I'm calling the cops. And I'm like, why are you calling the cops? And he looks at me and he goes, and this is like right when he got out of jail, and he goes, I want you to sit in a cell the same way I did.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? You just told me to myself. So he ends up calling the cops, and he says, my girlfriend just swallowed an entire bottle of pills. You guys need to help her. I don't think she's right. So,
Oh my
while we're waiting for the
God.
cops to show up, I'm just sitting in my room alone crying. So I'm like, what the fuck just happened? He just told me that myself, and then called the police because he wanted me to go to jail. I don't fucking understand what's going on. And so the police show up. There's 2 cops, and he talks to one, I talk to the other, and he's like, hey, are you okay? You know, we gotta call that. You took these pills. And mind you, as we were walking down my stairs to go talk to the cops, he looks at me and he goes, I hope you go to jail tonight so you know what it's like. I hope you go to jail tonight so you know what it's like to go to jail. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, he wanted me to get Baker acted basically for taking the pills, even though he had told me to myself. I didn't take any. I spit them all out. I guess I was just trying to like prove a point. You know, if you tell me to do something like that, I'm already
Jesus
really in a bad
Christ.
headspace. I don't know. So talking to the cop, and he's like, hey, we got a call. You know, your boyfriend seems really concerned about you. Maybe have taken some tonight. Like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I didn't actually take any. I'm fine. I promise I'm fine. You could do a test on me. Like, I'm perfectly fine. And he's like, well, you're having a normal conversation with me right now. It's been like 30 minutes since the call, so I know you're fine. And he looks at me and he goes, you have a very caring boyfriend. Your boyfriend cares a lot.
Oh God. Oof. Oh no. Oh, that's so devastating to hear.
About you to make that call. And so they end up leaving, and I walk up the stairs with him, and he looks at me, and he goes, fuck, bro, I really wish they took you away. And he was pissed. He was mad at me for the rest of the night because I did not get Baker acted for him telling me to myself and giving me a bottle of pills. So
Jesus Christ.
that's one of the reasons I wish I didn't trauma block. Like, I wish my brain didn't do that because I really wish how it even got to that point. I wish I knew. But I'll never forget that. The reason I will never forget that story is because I've never had a man that I'm dating look me in the eyes in my house and say, yourself, and then actually want me to, and then call the cops to try to get me. Yeah, so like literally he said self. When he knew I was going through a tough time and we were in an argument, and then here. And then I and then spit them out immediately. And then he called the police to try to get me Baker acted or arrested because he said he wanted to see me sit in a cell just like him.
Oh my God.
Well, newsflash, buddy, I will not sit in a cell for domestic violence like you. So, anyways, I just wanted to add that in. December 22nd wasn't a physical one, but it kind of just shows how crazy things were at this point. December 22nd, or December 20th, I guess, I end up going to, what was it, like Knoxville, I'm pretty sure it's called, Tennessee, to stay in a cabin with.
This apartment literally smells like it's on fire. Is there a fire on the street or something? It literally smells like it's on fire. Wait. Huh. That's interesting. Wait, why does it literally smell like it's on fire? It smells like it over here, too. I don't know. Something funky going on. Smells really bad in the streets. Smells like fire. Oh my God, it's like fully... See, I would close my fucking windows, but this place is too fucking hot. Knoxville, Tennessee. Love.
With him and his family, and I don't want to bring family into this, so I don't. It's not about that.
You're better than me.
Stayed with them. It was a great time. Whatever. But December 22nd, we ended up leaving so I could fly back home to see my family for my birthday, because my birthday is on the 24th. And that morning, I wake up at like 7 a.m. We both do, and we go head upstairs to eat breakfast. And as we're on the way upstairs, I'm like, oh shoot, like I need to grab a phone charger because my phone was like at 7%, and we were about to leave to go on like a 3-hour car ride back to Nashville from. Is it Knoxville? It's called. I'm not sure. It was like a 3-hour car ride, so I was like, I need to charge my phone. So as we're walking upstairs, I just turn around and I go downstairs to go grab my charger. So I'm looking around for my charger. I can't find my charger, and his brother is the only other person downstairs. And so his brother's just doing his own thing, packing up, and I'm looking for the charger, and then all of a sudden my boyfriend comes down, and he's like, what the F are you doing? What the F are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm looking for my charger. Like, could you actually help me? Like, I need to charge my phone. It's like literally about to die. And he's like, no, you're not looking for your charger. You're not looking for your charger. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I know what you're trying to do. So then he goes into one of the other rooms downstairs, and he finds my charger within like 5 seconds. I hadn't looked in that room yet. I don't fucking know. Grabs it, and he's like, your charger's right here. What are you actually doing down here? And I'm like, looking for my charger. Like, I didn't check that room yet. Like, I was checking my suitcases and my bags. Like, I wasn't checking the other room. And he was like, no, I know what you were trying to do. And so at that point, I knew he was insinuating that I went down there to try to F his brother.
Oh my God. It's like every fucking narrative he can come up with.
So I end up saying bye to his family, and we get in the truck, and we start driving back. It was me, him, and his brother, and I really don't want to bring other people in this story at all, so I'm really just gonna focus on this. But we're all in the truck, and he is saying that he's done with me, that I'm a whore, that I'm a slut, and he's like, don't you agree? Like, she's a whore, she's a slut, like she'll just F anything. Like, I'm so sick of her. Like, I know what you were trying to do down there. Basically saying that I was trying to F his brother, saying that I was trying to F his brother at a family vacation because I went downstairs to grab my charger for 5 seconds at 7 in the morning. And this wasn't even the craziest person that he had accused me of wanting to hook up with. He accused me of wanting to hook up with my stepdad. He accused me of wanting to hook up with my brother-in-law. He accused me of wanting to hook up with every single one of his friends. He accused me of wanting to hook up with my friends, or my best friend's boyfriend. He accused me of wanting to hook up with the gas station workers. He had accused me. I wasn't allowed to talk to men. I wasn't allowed to talk to men, and I didn't know up until this point that rule extended to his family. So he basically accused me of effing his brother, and while he's doing this, I'm just crying in the backseat because this was my last time I was going to see him before I went back home to Indiana for my birthday. And I'm just in the backseat absolutely sobbing.
gross.
And I'll post this on TikTok or something. But before he had even apologized, he's still accusing me of wanting to F his brother. He responds to a comment on Snapchat saying, "Are you going to propose to her?" And he does like a little wink face as a response. And I'm in the back crying.
Oh my fucking god. Oh god. I'm glad that I'm, almost done part 2, so I've like heard everything, because I want to start figuring out what the response has been to this, because like, is he silent? Has he said anything? Like, fuck, he's
Hadn't even apologized, but he was responding to comments on Snapchat about proposing to me.
Jesus Christ.
It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. And so then we end up going to a gas station about 2 hours later, and I'm in the gas station crying, just picking out snacks, and he goes up to me and he's like, "I think I was just hungry. Like, I don't know why I was being so rude to you, but like, it's okay now. I was just hungry." And I didn't even know what to say. I was like, "Do you understand? You were just sitting here calling me a slut for 2 hours and accusing him of wanting to..." So yeah.
He was just hungry.
Then we get to New Year's. Once again, isn't a time he got physical, but something that had happened. On New Year's, me, Emma, Ashley, my twin, Ben, my twin's now fiance, Brennan, and my boyfriend all decided to go to Vegas for New Year's. And the main reason for this was because Ben, my sister's now fiance, was going to propose. So we all knew that he was going to propose, besides her, obviously. So I made sure, or everybody made sure, that this day was about them. And I remember specifically looking at my boyfriend and said, "Do not fight with me about anything today. This is about them. He's going to propose to her."
Imagine having to say that to your partner in
And
general.
yeah, like, just please, if you have an issue tonight, because you always do, please just wait till the morning, like, have that respect. And he's like, "I will." Spoiler alert, that didn't happen. So we get to Vegas and we start walking around, and immediately
Him saying "I will" back to that is crazy, by the way.
he's just mad at me. I don't know why. And he has
Again, he has this ability, or this need, to make every single event that isn't directly about him. Someone's getting proposed. How does he make that about him? Oh, he has an issue, so then people have to focus on him having an issue.
storming off in the casino, and I don't know where he's at. Turns out he was with Ben and Brennan 2 hours before Ben's about to propose to my sister, sitting there. And mind you, I've known Ben for 5 years. Sitting there being like, "Ben, don't you know that she's a slut? Like, she's such a slut. Like, I just can't do it anymore. Like, if she doesn't just like change, I'm gonna break up with her by next month. Like, I just can't deal with her. Like, she's such a slut." And Ben's just sitting there like, "Yeah, man. He's not even trying to argue. He's about to propose in 2 hours." So I'm with Emma and Ashley at this point, and we're just all having a good time. I told myself I was not gonna let anything he does destroy this time. And at this point, I told him, I was like, "Hey, when the clock hits midnight, I'm not gonna be able to kiss you right away because I have to record a video of my sister getting engaged. Like, I really want to see that." And he got really pissed off, and he was like, "Oh, so that matters more to you than me?" And I'm like,
Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. Again, has to be the main character, has to be the main controller.
"Just fuck off." Anyways, we end up all walking outside for like the ball drop, and at this point, he was not talking to me. He was not speaking to me. He had not talked to me all night. And the ball drops. My sister gets proposed to, and after I'm done recording, I go up to him as fireworks are still going off, and he starts yelling at me.
Oh god.
On New Year's Eve, as the fireworks are going off, he's sitting there yelling at me, saying that I want to F Ben, saying that I want to fuck my sister's fiance. And that was how I started my New Year's. And then after that, we decided we wanted to go to a club. So all of us were really excited. We're like, "Let's go." And so we get to this club, and we see that covers $50. But I had already spent like $100 on this Uber, and I was like, "Hey guys, let's just do it." So everybody's down to spend $50 except my boyfriend. So we get up to the front, and they're like, "Hey, it'll be $50 to my boyfriend." And he's pissed. And he's like, "Are you kidding me?" And he starts cussing out the lady at the front who's supposed to take the money. And she's like, "I don't know what to tell you, dude." And he looks at me, and he's like, "Okay, well, let's just leave." And I'm like, "Everybody already paid cover in his inside. Like, I'm not just gonna leave everybody." And like, if you're mad about spending $50, I just spent $100 on an Uber. Like, I'm just trying to explain to him. I'm like, "It's $50. Like, please. Like, I want them to celebrate their engagement. Like, come on." And he looks at me, he's pissed. He gives the lady $50, and I'm behind him. I pay my $50. And I remember she looked at me, and she goes, "Sweetie, he's not the one." And I'm just like, and mind you, this was like an hour after
That's so sad.
drop fight had happened. So we get inside, and 5 minutes within us walking in, he turns around and he looks at me straight in the face, and he goes, "I fucking hate you," and turns around. He said he fucking hates me because he had to pay $50 for cover to celebrate my sister getting proposed to on New Year's. So at that point, I run into the bathroom and I just start sobbing, and I just didn't want anybody to see that I was crying, so I didn't want to ruin their engagement. And when I walk out of the bathroom, he's standing there, and he's like, "Oh, really? You really want to do that?" And I'm like, "What?" And I turn around, and I see that the bathroom is an all-gender bathroom. And he then accused me of hooking up with somebody in the bathroom because it was an all-gender
Oh my fucking god.
bathroom, and then ignored me for the rest of the night. We get back to the Airbnb. He has not spoken a word to me, and he goes into the room and lays down and falls asleep. And at that point, I go into the kitchen, and Ben and Ashley are talking, and I just say, "Is it normal? Like, is this normal? Like, Ben, have you ever said you hate Ashley?" And he was like, "No, I would never say that." And I'm like, he looked at me tonight and said that he, quote, looked me in the eyes and said, "I fucking hate you," because he had to pay $50 for cover. And they were like, "It's not normal." So that night, I get in bed and I grab my notebook and I start writing down my New Year's resolutions. And the first one I could literally grab my notebook. I put yourself first. And like that's the day when I started to realize this isn't normal.
I think that's something that people say when they're, talking about the abusive relationships that like really just fucking like oof hits, is when they'll ask someone in their life like, "Is this normal? Like, is it normal for someone to?" is it normal for someone to hit me? Is it normal for someone to, you know, say they hate me? Like, it's such a, I'm gonna cry. It's like, that will always just fucking, oof, hit me.
And I knew it wasn't normal, but I was kind of finally starting to stop living in denial, kind of.
Damn.
So now we get to the beginning of the end. So this was the last time that he had ever gotten physical with me. This was the last time we ever saw each other in person, and this was the end. So oh fuck, I don't know why I'm just crying. It's just like, what the fuck? Why the fuck? How am I sitting here just saying this shit with a fucking straight face like it's fucking normal? Like, why am I sitting here? God, what the fuck? Just, so fucking, it's just hard. I'm like out of tears to fucking cry. January 13th, well, let me just, after New Year's, we had all driven back the next day, and he was still ignoring me, not talking to me the entire car ride back. He wasn't talking to me, and mind just like the next day on the way back home, and he just wasn't talking to me, and we get back to my house, and we're all talking and vibing, and that night, the night after, it's New Year's night, we go into my room, and he accuses me of wanting to fuck Ben, my sister's now fiance, and was saying how he thinks that Ben was flirting with me, and I shouldn't text Ben, I shouldn't hang out with Ben, and I was like, Ben's like a brother to me, like he is a brother to me, he's a brother-in-law now, and I've known.
This element of control, an element of like planting a seed that you shouldn't be friends with any man because you're trying to fuck them or cheat on them, whatever, just is such a dangerous narrative that like affects someone when they hopefully eventually get out of that abusive relationship and they have to live with that.
I've known him for 5 years, like that's longer than you, and he gets mad at me, it causes another fight, and then from there to January 13th was when our relationship was, this was the point where I felt like I made the biggest fucking mistake. What the fuck have I been doing for the past 8 months is what I was thinking at this point. And for these 2 weeks, I was looking at old videos in my camera roll before I met him. And I started to realize that he was using me for his own monetary gain to get a platform on social media. And I don't even want to talk about that in
like that on top of all of this as well.
This video, because it's
like
not,
you're treating me this terribly and you're still trying to fucking use all my money and try to use me for clout and stuff. Fuck you, bitch.
About that, it's about the abuse. So January 13th, we end up going to Hawaii for the last time. Me, Emma, Brennan, and my boyfriend all decided to go to Hawaii, and I wanted it to be a really fun friend group trip. And at this point, I had been doing a lot of writing in my journal, and somewhere in my journal, I had written, and I told myself this, that if I ever told my parents, there'd be no going back. If I ever told my parents, there'd be no going back. Sorry, I just got a phone call. I hope you can still hear me. That there'd be no going back. Fuck, I'm scared you won't be able to hear me. Put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I hope that didn't just cut the audio. I'm like really scared now. Fuck, like I'm scared that I'm gonna tell the story. That's not I'm gonna save. I'm scared to even pause it and try to. Fuck, hold on. I'm gonna pause it and redo it. Hold on. Okay. I don't know if the audio was cut out. I'm like really anxious right now. Okay. That might have looked really dumb. I told myself that if I ever told my family, there'd be no going back, and that was a rule that I made to myself. Because at this point, I was realizing, I don't know. I don't even know what mindset I was in. I was so fucking depressed. I was so fucking depressed and really unhappy in my relationship. I was just so, I was a shell of myself is the best way to explain it. I didn't make jokes. I didn't find jokes funny. I was a shell of myself. I didn't even like posting because I didn't know who I was. I completely lost myself. So I don't know when I finally decided. I don't know what gave me that, but like, I thank God because it is what got me out. I told myself and my family, when I tell my family it is over and there's no going back.
Yep.
So anyways, the four of us decided to go to Hawaii. We get off the plane and, mind you, he had bought his own plane ticket, but I bought the Airbnb. I just got the craziest text of my life. What the fuck? Oh my fucking God, I hate this dude. I fucking hate this dude. I fucking... fucking hate him. I fucking hate him. I hate what he's fucking done to me. Fuck! Oh my fuck. Oh my God. I want to pause the video and take a minute, but I don't want the video to end because I just got a text. I'm sorry about this situation. I'm sorry. I just found out there's a lot more to the story. Oh God. I'm sorry. This is not what this video is about. I'm sorry. Holy fuck. Fuck. So I had bought the Airbnb. I was paying for everything. I don't know why. It's just, I don't know. But this was another content trip to him. But to me, Brennan and Emma, it was a friend trip. So we get there, and within the first day, my boyfriend is already like really on edge. He's being really rude to me because I wasn't giving my full attention to him. I was giving it to Brennan and Emma as well. And he was refusing to join any conversations with us unless he was directly addressed and spoken to. So if you didn't say his name and ask him a question, he wouldn't talk. And even if you did, it would be a very dry answer.
What the fuck?
So
it's just so exhausting.
for instance, like one of the first nights we were there, we went out to dinner, and the entire time we were at dinner, he did not say a word to me, Brennan, or Emma. He didn't say a word the whole time he was on his phone. We actually took a picture. I could insert it online on Snapchat or TikTok, but we had taken a group picture. We asked the waiter to take a picture of us at dinner, and he's just sitting there like, he just wasn't talking to anybody. So
so exhausting.
we're there for like 2 days, and it's just him not really talking to anybody. He would just wake up and shotgun beers, or wake up and just, I don't know, he just wasn't talking to me. And then I think it was the second day, me, Brennan, and Emma woke up super early, and I tried to wake him up, and he said he didn't want to come. So I wake him up, and I'm like, hey, do you want to come? We're going to go in the backyard. Because the backyard of this Airbnb was a golf course. And I was like, hey, do you want to come up with us? We're going to take Instagram pictures on the golf course wearing like our bikinis. And he's like, no, I don't want to go. And I'm like, okay. So the three of us go on this golf course, and we're out there for like an hour doing cartwheels and taking pictures and just having a fun time. And we get back into the house, and he looks at me, and he looks at my bikini, and he's like, were you taking pictures with Brennan? And I was like, yeah, Brennan was taking some of the pictures. Like, what's the problem? And he's immediately like, why would you do that? Like, why would you wear that in front of him? And I'm like, it's a fucking bikini. We were taking Instagram pictures. And he's like, well, why were you guys gone for so long? What were you really doing? And I was like, taking pictures. It's three of us taking pictures. Like, I don't know, it just took a while. We were having fun. I asked you to come. And he was like, I just feel like your shadow. I feel like your shadow all the time. And I'm like, Evan, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you feel like I invited you out. Like, it was Instagram pictures. And he just kept going on with this. Like, he feels like my shadow.
Jesus
and I just, it was a form of manipulation to try to make me overthink what I was doing. So we spent the first 2-3 days going to cliffs and jumping off and going out to eat and just riding our mopeds around. And throughout this time, I'd obviously gotten a sunburn. And this is one of the things that he would do, which wasn't directly abuse, but he would do things that he knew would hurt me. He would slap my sunburn as hard as he could. As hard as he could. He would do that so much, especially in Hawaii when I was burned. He would slap me as hard as he could. He would pinch it. He would Indian burn it. I remember like literally in front of Brennan and Emma, we were just tanning. He hadn't said anything to me all day, and he just looks at me, raises his hand up, and just slaps my arm as hard as he could on my sunburn. And Brennan and Emma looked at him, and they were like, what? And he just like looked at me. He wasn't even laughing after doing it. He was just like, and then I'm just thinking like, ow. Like, and I was like actually on the verge of tears. I remember that. It hurt so fucking bad, but he would just do that all the time. He would just do little things that would hurt me. I don't know why. So
God, I
so
need
it's
to
either the third or fourth day
suffer.
of the trip. I'm pretty sure it was January 15th or 16th. This is when it ended. So mind you, the first 2-3 days of the trip, just like to recap, he was ignoring me. He was being very distant with the group. He was starting issues with me for no reason. He was hitting my sunburn and doing things that would hurt me on purpose. Just not, I don't know. It's like so hard to explain. I almost wish Brennan and Emma were here to explain how he was acting. It's hard to put into words. It was almost like a stranger was with us, and the only time he would do anything is if it affected me negatively. Like there's no words for it. Matter of fact, yeah, I kind of forgot about this. The second or third day we were there, he's ignoring me all day again, and we end up stopping at a place to get sushi, a little Publix or whatever. Yeah, it was a Publix. We all go inside to get sushi. He gets his sushi before us, gets on his moped and drives off without telling anybody. So I'm calling him trying to figure out where he's at, and he's like, bitch, you have my location.
Again, it literally is just making everything about him.
And hangs up. So I end up finding him, and I walk down to this cliff.
That as well, bitch, you have my location, come find me. The most like attention-seeking, narcissistic behavior.
And I'm like, why are you acting like this? And he basically just tells me that like, I don't care about him, I don't love him, and this and that. And I'm just sitting here being like, what are you talking about? And he looks at me and he says, we're done. And so I run up the cliff just sobbing, and I go up to Brennan and Emma, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, he just said we're done. I don't know why he's acting like this. And we're talking for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, I don't want to ruin their Hawaii trip, so I kind of just stop crying, and I'm like, he'll get over it. So me, Brennan, and Emma go into the ocean, and we're just playing around, like jumping off rocks and just having a good time. And then all of a sudden, I see my boyfriend in the water after like 30 minutes, and I don't see him, actually. This is what happened. I'm turned around, and mind you, the last thing he said to me was, I'm done. And he slaps my ass as hard as he can. And I look at him, and he looks at me, and he goes, why didn't you react? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you probably thought that was Brennan slapping your ass, huh? And I'm like, no.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, like, I kind of knew it would be you slapping my ass. Like, you hit it, like, what? And he's like, no, you thought that was Brennan. So then he swims over to Emma, and he's like, I don't think Brennan's gay. I don't think Brennan's gay. So Emma just, like, jumps into the water, and is like, I'm not talking to you. I'm not entertaining this.
Oh my god.
So I get back onto the sand, and he's still in the water, my boyfriend. And I go on my phone, and I see that before even saying anything to me, apologizing anything, he had gone on my phone and posted on my main Snapchat story. I could post this on social media as well, saying, hey guys, I'm cool, add me. And it's a selfie of him smiling, and he added himself on my Snapchat.
Ugh. Oh god.
Before even apologizing to me, mind you, he had just told me that we're done, and had been ignoring me for the past 2-3 days, and then he goes, like, Like, isn't that crazy? And so I delete it immediately, and he gets out of the ocean, doesn't say a word to me, sits like 2 feet away from me, goes on his phone, looks at me, he goes, why the F did you delete it? Who are you hiding me from? Why did you delete it? And I'm like, dude, you haven't even apologized to me, and you posted it on my story. Like, I'm not, like, what? Like, are you effing kidding me? And so, I try to calm down, and I try not to argue with him, because I'm just so over it. I want to enjoy Hawaii. I don't fight in front of Brennan and Emma. And so that made him more mad. So it's just something I thought I'd bring up, which is crazy. Anyways, this is the beginning of the end. Third or fourth day we're there, like I was saying. And, we're leaving to go drive 2 hours from from North Shore to Honolulu, because we were staying on North Shore, and we wanted to go cliff jumping at this place called China Walls. So we get on the mopeds early on the morning, and I don't remember anything significant happening, but we were all talking on the mopeds, and then we go drive to a gas station so we can fill up for the moped ride. So we're at the gas station, and Brendan and Emma go into the gas station, and I'm out there outside myself filling it up with my boyfriend, and he hadn't said anything to me, and I was like, hey, is everything okay? Like, you're kind of acting weird again. I don't understand what's going on. Like, you can't keep just being weird. Like, you keep ignoring me and everybody this whole trip. And I just start trying to talk to him about it, and he looks at me and he goes, you were fucking Brennan this morning. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like,
you were fucking Brendan? This man needs to be institutionalized. He needs to never leave. I was going to say never leave a mental ward. No, a jail.
You were fucking Brennan this morning. I saw it on the moped right before we left. You were fucking him. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you were looking at him up and down, licking your lips. And I'm like, that never happened. Like, if he was talking, I'm sure I was looking at him. And he goes, no, you were looking at him when he wasn't talking. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't think of what you're thinking of, but maybe I was like just zoned out and it looked like I was looking at him, but what even is fucking? And that's when he gets up and he grabs my arm and he's like, I want you to admit that you want to fuck Brendan right now, or I'm gonna go into that gas station and beat his ass. And I'm standing there and I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, no, from the way that you grabbed his face at that party to you fucking him, I know you want to fuck him. And I go, he's gay. He's fucking gay, dude. What are you talking? He's my gay best friend. What are you talking about? And he goes, well, maybe you just want something that you can't have.
What? Again, when we dive into the stories of him and James Charles, this has a extra layer to
it. Like, gripping my arm, and he looks at me, he goes, say that you want to fuck him, or I'm gonna beat his fucking ass right here at this gas station. Mind you, we're in Hawaii. And so I look at him and I go, I want to fuck Brendan. And he looks at me, he lets go, and he walks into the gas station at the same time. Brendan walks out, kind of shoulder checks him, and Brendan looks at me, he's like, are you okay? And I was too scared to even talk to him. I was too scared to talk to my own friend at this point. So I just nodded my head and got on my moped. I didn't want to talk to him, so I was scared. I was scared. He was going to come out and fight Brendan. I was scared that if he saw me talking to my own friend who was going to come out and try to fight him. I didn't want to see that, so I didn't even talk to him. So at that point, we get on our mopeds and we drive 2 hours to China Walls, so nobody's talking, nobody's anything. And we stop and we pick up some Twisted Teas. I do remember that. Or we got that at the gas station, I don't know. But we had picked up like a pack of Twisted Teas. So we get to China Walls, which is basically this place where we go cliff jumping. It's really popular in Honolulu. And we're there, and we're all just laying down, and we start drinking, but nobody was like getting drunk. It's like Twisted Teas, there's 4 of us, so it's like 3 a person, and it's hot outside and we're swimming, so I'm just jumping off the cliffs, and I'm spending the majority of the time with Emma, because I didn't want to talk to my boyfriend at this time because of what just happened. I was like very, very upset, and obviously he wasn't talking to me either. So I remember, oh fuck yeah, this is bad. Me and Emma wanted to jump off a cliff and have somebody record it, and we're here for like an hour at this point, and nobody's drunk, nobody's sober, everybody was sober. So I go up to my boyfriend, and I'm like, hey, are you going cliff jumping? Like, are you jumping off the cliff like with us? Because I wanted him to record. And he goes, yeah, I'm jumping. So I go, oh. I said, oh, because I was looking for somebody to record the video, I was looking for somebody to record the video. And he said he was jumping, so I said, oh, because like, oh, you can't record. So I go, oh. And he looks at me, he goes, oh, bitch, are you serious? Oh. And mind you, there's a lot of people here at this point. Like, it's a popular spot. There's probably 30 people there. And you can hear everything. It's a cliff. Like, maybe some people are playing some music in the background, but it's not like a club. Everybody can hear everything. So he starts screaming. He's like, oh, what bitch? Oh, what bitch? So I'm just standing there, and then Emma goes, all she said was, oh, we're looking for somebody to record the video. And I'm standing there in shock. And he goes, you fat bitch, you ugly bitch, you wrinkly bitch, fuck you bitch, you ugly bitch, you fat bitch. And I'm not joking, 5 minutes screaming at me, and everybody's looking at this point, just screaming at me saying I'm a fat bitch, an ugly bitch, a wrinkly bitch, on and on and on, and he won't stop. And Emma goes up to him and is like, dude, fucking stop, you need to stop. And he won't stop, and he's just screaming for 5 minutes, calling me every bitch, ugly bitch, fat bitch, everything. So I'm just in shock, and I grab Emma's arm, and I'm like, can we walk away? I can't hear this. So I walk away, he's still screaming at me, and I just jump into the water with her, and I'm like, I can't do this. I'm supposed to be happy in Hawaii. I can't do this anymore.
Oh my God.
And she's like, I know. And I was like, Emma, I don't know how long it's gonna take me, but I know I have to leave. And I told her, I was like, you don't even know the extent of the things that have happened, but I need to leave. And she gave me a hug, and she was like, oh, no matter how long it takes you, I'll be here for you. And I was like, I just don't know how long it's going to take me to leave him. And thankfully, it was this day. So I get back out of the water, and I go up to him, and I'm like, hey, can we talk? So I wanted to talk to him about how he had been treating me this trip. And he's like, about what? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get into it here. We're cliff jumping. I want to still have a good time. It's going to be a really long conversation, like 2-3 hours. So let's just talk tonight when we're back to Airbnb. He's like, no, bitch, we're talking now. So he gets up and he grabs my arm and he drags me to the other side of the cliffs where nobody is. And he sits me down on a rock and he's like, no, we're talking here. We're talking fucking now. Like, I don't care. You're talking to me right fucking now, not tonight. And I'm like, I'm not doing this here. I'm not doing this tonight. Like, I'm not going to sit here for 2 hours when we're supposed to be cliff jumping and talk to you about how you've been treating me. Like, I'm not doing this here. And so I'm just telling him, like, I want to have this talk tonight. And he's like, no, I don't give a fuck, you're doing it here. And I'm like, I'm not doing this here. So I get up and I go to walk away, and he grabs me and he's like, no. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I just keep saying, I'm not having this talk here. And so then he shoves me and he walks in front of me, and he looks at me as he's walking away, and he's like, I can't wait to go back to Nashville and fuck my ex. And then kept walking.
Jesus Christ.
But instead of saying ex, he said her like actual full name, which he had done a lot. Like, fun fact, the day that he met my parents for the first time, we had driven from Nashville to Portage, Indiana, which is about a 6-hour car ride. And 30 minutes before we get there, I was singing the song, fuck my baby dad, fuck my baby dad. And so I was singing it like, fuck my baby dad, fuck my baby dad. And he goes, what did you just say? And I said, fuck my baby dad, that's the song, I'm singing it. And he goes, no, I heard you say you love your baby dad. And I was like, no, I said, fuck my baby dad, that's the song. And he looked at me, he goes, no, I know what you said, don't fucking lie to me. And so for 30 minutes, literally up until we pulled into the driveway to meet my parents, he's going on and on about how much he wants to fuck his ex, saying her full name, saying how much he misses her and how much he misses her, and how I will never compare, and how I'm too fat and gross and loose, and I'll never compare to her, and how much he just misses it, and how just on and on for 30 minutes. And then I had to walk into that house and introduce him to my dad and my mom, and act like nothing happened. So just backstory. He does all of that, walks away saying he wants to fuck his ex, can't go back to Nashville to fuck his ex. And so at that point I decided I'm just gonna ignore him. So me and Emma and Brennan, so Brennan actually ends up leaving because he knew that my boyfriend was about to crash out because he had been hearing him call me names, and he didn't want him to try to fight him. So Brennan ended up leaving. We didn't know this, but his moped ended up breaking down around 30 minutes away from China Wall, so he was at some random beach alone at this point. We had no idea. So it's just the three of us, and I'm just talking to Emma. And then my boyfriend goes up to this group of girls and buys Twisted Teas off of them and is sitting there just talking to them. And at this point, the sun's setting, and we meet this group of people, and we're all talking. Me and Emma and these people are talking, and my boyfriend's talking to this other group of people, and it's whatever. I'm just kind of ignoring him, and he's ignoring me like he had been the whole trip. And so I'm talking with Emma and these three girls at the cliffs. These girls that came up to me and been like, we heard how he was talking to you, and we want you to know that's not normal. And at this point, I just start crying, and I'm like, yeah, I know, it's not normal. And he's done a lot worse. I can't.
That as well is just like really, it's a very like hard moment of other people overhearing or overseeing something that is happening to you and being like, hey, that's not
Talk about it, but I know it's not normal, and I wish he wasn't doing this in public. I wish he didn't have the confidence to call me those things in public, but yeah. So at that point, I hear yelling, and I look, and my boyfriend is trying to fight some guy at the cliffs.
Oh God.
He's pressing this guy because basically this guy had made a joke. My boyfriend went to shotgun a Twisted Tea and did not finish it. So the guy joking goes, ha, you didn't even finish it. And that made my boyfriend really mad, and he starts trying to fight him. So then it turns into a whole group thing, and people are ganging up on my boyfriend, being like, you need to sit down, you need to sit down, you need to sit down, you're drunk, you need to sit down. And so they sit him on the ground, they're like, you need to just stay there. And so then the guys come up to us, and they're like, is that your boyfriend? And I've never been so embarrassed to say, yeah, that is. And they're like, you're gonna have to get him to leave. Like, he's trying to fight people. And I'm like, this is Hawaii. Why are you trying to fight people in Hawaii? And so at that point, I just start crying, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? So I'm like, okay, he needs to go. I'm like, this is so embarrassing. So I go up to him, and I grab my towel, and I said, we're leaving, meet me by the mopeds, because I didn't even want to be seen walking out with him. Like, it was so embarrassing. So we grabbed our stuff. Like, he just tried to fight somebody from a fucking, in Hawaii. Why are you mad in Hawaii? What? Me and Emma walk up to the mopeds, and I go, I'm like, hey, I need to call Ben, my sister's fiance, and just talk to him for a minute while I wait for my boyfriend to get back up here. So I was by the mopeds, and I'm like by this little tree in the corner, and I'm on the phone with Ben, and I'm like, is it normal for your boyfriend to call you a bitch this much? Do you call Ashley a bitch? And I'm just sitting here asking him these questions, and he's just like, no, it's not, Kayla. No, it's not normal. What are you talking about? What is he doing? And all of a sudden, I see my boyfriend walk up the cliff towards the mopeds. I'm like, I have to go. So I hang up, and I walk towards him, and he sees me, and he's like, what the F are you doing? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, who are you on the phone with? And I was like, because I knew if I said my sister's fiance, he would think I was trying to F him, but I told him, I was like, oh, Ben, like, I just had to ask him something. And he's like, okay, and walks towards the mopeds. So we get to the mopeds, and this really nice guy, literally my guardian angel of this trip, comes up to me. He's like a 28-year-old guy, just chill, and he goes up to me, and he's like, hey, so he seems very intoxicated. I don't want him to drive this moped all the way back to your Airbnb. How about you guys get in my car, we go get pizza, and then you guys can take your mopeds back after, like, he'll be sober by then. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I don't even know how he got drunk. He had maybe 5 Twisted Teas, like, I don't understand. And so he's like, okay, cool. So he walks away for like 5 seconds to like go start his car or something, I don't know. But my boyfriend is like, hey, can I go through your phone? And I'm like, whatever, dude. So I like give him my phone. He goes through it for 5 seconds and gives it back. And then 5 seconds later, he's like, let me go through your phone. And at that point, I'm like, no, you just went through it. Like, I haven't even done anything. Like, why are you going through my phone? And I'm just like, no, you're not gonna go through my phone. You just went through it. No. And like, I'm not joking. He was like, can I go through your phone? He goes back, let me go through your phone. So I'm like, no, like, you just had my phone, bro. You just had my fucking phone. My phone's not. But I was like, you just had my fucking phone, dude. You just had my phone. I'm not giving it to you again. Like, I feel like you're just gonna take it. Like, no, I want my phone. So at that point, he's like, no, you're giving me your phone. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not giving you my phone. So he grabs my arm and he shoves me up against this brick wall, and he's holding my arm as hard as he can up against it and pushing me up against the wall. And he's like, give me your fucking phone. And at that point, the dude who offered to get us pizza comes up to me, and he's like, keep your hands off of her, don't touch her like that. So he turns around and he's like, mind your fucking business, bro, mind your fucking business. And he's like, no, you're not gonna touch her like that. You're not gonna touch her like that. And then Emma starts doing it, and she's like, don't touch Kayla like that. Like, what are you doing? So they're yelling at him, and that's when my boyfriend starts screaming back at them and starts trying to fight the guy who offered to take him to get pizza to sober him up. And he's like, I'll touch her how I want. I don't give a fuck. Like, mind you, he had just assaulted me in front of them. He grabbed my arm and shoved me up against the fucking wall. And at that point, I ran barefoot. I looked at the situation. I didn't know what to do. I ran down the street.
Jesus Christ.
I ran as far as I could. And I called my mom. And I kept the promise I made to myself. And I called my mom.
Oh.
And I said, Mom, please don't tell anybody. But Evan, but my boyfriend hits me.
Oh, gosh.
And it's been going on for months. And I knew once I told her that I couldn't stay with him.
Oh, God.
So I told her, I said, he's been hitting me for months. And it's really bad. He's tried to kill me before.
Can you imagine that call?
And she starts crying on the phone, and she's like, well, are you okay? Don't go near him. Stay away from him. And I'm just crying on the phone. Just telling her what I haven't told her for the past few months. And that's when Emma and the guy find me crying. And I look at Emma, and I said, I'm doing this so I can never go back. I tell her that he's been hitting me. And, like, you know, she had an idea, but I never confirmed it with her. Like, you know, she's walked in a few times, and I've always said she didn't know what she was seeing because I was scared. And I told her, and I showed her pictures, and I showed her the videos. Emma started crying, and the guy was in shock. And I was just like, he's been physical with me. Like, what you guys just saw 5 seconds ago was nothing compared to the shit he's done to me. And, I had to grab chargers. My phone doesn't die, actually. Hold on. 1 second, guys. Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm probably gonna have to finish the video with really bad lighting because I'm gonna have to unplug the ring light to plug my phone in. I'd rather have shitty lighting. It's not about what I look like, it's about the story. So look at this. 1 second, sorry.
Again, that call with your mother telling her, and then I can't even imagine. I literally cannot even imagine it. Like, either person's reaction in that.
So, the guy, ends up saying, okay, well, I don't want you going back to that Airbnb with him. That's obviously where he's gonna be on the way to. I'm gonna take, you and Emma to go get food then. And then I think you guys should get a hotel. And, at this point, I'm just sobbing because I knew I basically ended our relationship without telling him. So, we get in the car, and that's when Brendan tells us that his moped broke down about 30 minutes up. And so we're like, okay, we'll go pick you up. So we go drive 30 minutes, and my boyfriend still has my location at this point.
Oh, God.
And, I'm not sure exactly what we were texting about. I don't know if we were texting, but I was in the backseat just sobbing. I was in the front seat, and the guy was driving. And we get to the park where Brennan was at, and I explained to him the situation, and he, you know, cries and hugs me, and he's like, I know he wasn't normal. I knew it wasn't normal. I'm so proud of you. So we're sitting there waiting for the tow truck to get Brennan's moped, and then all of a sudden, we see my boyfriend's moped headlights pull in. And so he drives it up to the car, and at this point, it's just me and Emma in the car, and the guy's out helping Brennan. And he walks up, and he has his flashlight on, and he puts it on me, and I'm in the backseat just crying, and he looks at me, and he goes, why the fuck are you crying? And I look at him, and I'm like, and before I can even get a word out, the guy who's driving comes up and shoves him, and he goes, get the fuck away from her, we know what you did. And he's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And the dude's like, dude, we know. And so he looks at me, and he goes, I'm going back to Nashville tonight, we're fucking done. And then speeds off. So I just start sobbing, and he drives away. And we end up getting pizza, and the whole time I'm just sobbing, and I'm like, at this point, like, what did I do? What did I do? And instead of, like, I don't know if you guys have ever had something like this where you forget the bad and you can only think of the good, and I don't know. There wasn't much good of our relationship at all, but for some reason, all I could think about was good stuff. And, like, I was like, what did I do? So I'm like, I need to end this with him in person. I need to end it with him. I need to end it with him. I didn't like how he got the last word. I was just so manic. So I'm like, guys, I'm leaving, and I'm going to the Airbnb. And nobody agreed, but they understood, so I ordered an Uber. And on the way to the Airbnb, my phone died, so I had no idea where my boyfriend was at. I didn't even know if he was there, but by the time I got there, I opened the door, and all this stuff was gone. So I called him, and I said, I wish you just had the balls to end it with me in person, but it's good to know you. And I was just crying on the phone, and I recorded a video after I had gotten off the phone of me crying so that I could watch it when I was finally done and just remember how fucking sad I was with him.
Oh, God.
But he ended up turning around, and he came back to the Airbnb. He told me he bought a plane ticket to go back, and we walked to the beach, and he basically just sat there saying how much he loved me and wanted to have a house with me and a family and kids and this and that. And I didn't believe it this time. And I looked at him, and I said, you broke up with me. And I told him I was going to tell him this, and I was like, I told my family that you put hands on me. I can't go back, ever. And he was really mad about it. He was like, why the fuck would you tell them? What did you tell them? What did you say? And I said that you've hit me before. And that's when the first time he's ever looked stressed out. And he was like, well, what do we do now? What do we do now? I was like, I don't know. So we ended up walking back to the Airbnb, and I told him he couldn't sleep in the bed with me. We were broken up. It was done. He refused. He slept in the bed with me. I woke up to him cuddling me. I literally remember shoving him off. I was so sick. And that whole next day, because we were in Hawaii for 2 days after this, he ended up missing his flight to go back home. And the whole day, we just talked. And there was a point right in the morning, my mom had called me back, and I was just crying to her. I forgot about this part. Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, the next morning we wake up, and Brennan and Emma are scared of him at this point after what I had told them, and they didn't want to be around him. And I called, he looks at me and he said, I need you to call your mom and tell her that you were lying about me putting my hands on you. And I was like, I can't do that. And he was like, okay, well, then you need to call her and tell her it's not as bad as she thinks. So I call my mom, and the whole 30 minutes I'm on the phone with my mom, he's having me go on mute. And he's like, no, tell her that it only happened once. So I unmute myself and be like, Mom.
Oh my fucking God. Oh, I need him to suffer. I'm like shaking in anger.
It only happened once. And she'd be like, well, it shouldn't happen at all. Go back to me. Well, say it was an accident. It was an accident. And he was coaching me through this conversation with my mom to the point where I was lying to her.
God.
So I got out of the room. I ran outside. And I told my mom, I was like, no, he does it a lot. He does it a lot. He does it a lot. And she was like, you need to get the fuck out of there. So I hung up the conversation with my mom. And he was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I can't sit here and lie to my mom. She knows the truth. And she just told my sister and my dad. And my dad's really concerned about me at this point. And we end up, it was such a fucking long day. We end up going to the beach and just sitting and talking for like 3 hours. And he's like, I don't want to break up. I don't want to break up with you. And I'm like, okay, well, I need time. So I'm going to give you 2 months. I said, I think you have a lot of issues. So I'm gonna go home to California and you're gonna go back to Nashville. I don't want to see you for 2 months. We can still talk and communicate through this, but I don't know what to think right now. Like, my friends are scared of you. My family knows that you put hands on me. Like, I don't know what we can save here. And so he ends up going back to the Airbnb on at the beach. And this is what Brendan has screen recordings of. They're all on his TikTok voice memos. He basically came back inside, and instead of owning up to putting his hands on me in front of them, to putting his hands on me, or apologizing for putting his hands on me at all, ever, instead of apologizing for anything that he had done, he goes in there and starts crying about how he doesn't know what to do for work now because his entire social media career relies on me and Trump.
Oh my fucking God. This is such a fucking piss take. Fucking freeloader.
And Brendan has voice memos of all of that. They're on his TikTok. Go to bed that night. The next day, it was our last day in Hawaii, and things were normal. He was trying to act happy and like he loved me and cared about me, but it's because he knew he was going to lose his job. I was his job. I was his job, and then punching bag. He didn't love me. So flash forward, we get back home to California, and the same night that we get back home, he ends up packing his bags and going to Nashville. And we would text, but we wouldn't call. And we were still technically dating. Like, we weren't allowed to see anybody else, but he wasn't allowed to be controlling. We weren't allowed to see each other. We weren't allowed to call. We weren't allowed to text 24/7. We were supposed to take time on ourselves. We were supposed to go to therapy and stop drinking and this and that. And I was just going to live my life because I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And so I end up 2 weeks.
I'm so glad she's able to see that.
After this break thing, I ended up going to Gasparilla in Tampa, which had been planned. And he did some crazy shit there that I can talk about in another video. Basically, was once again accusing me of fucking my best friend's ex-boyfriend. Crazy shit. And then the day of Gasparilla, January 25th, we're still on this 2 week break, and this girl comes up to me. She just starts sobbing to me immediately. And she's like, I'm in a situation like yours. And she starts showing me videos that are the same as mine, and pictures that are the same as mine, and stories that are the same as mine. And I've never met somebody with the same stories, and I've never met somebody in person who had been through what I was. And I also wasn't really telling a lot of people about it. So I just opened up to her, and I look at her, and I was like, how long has this been going on? She said, 4 years. And that's when I realized he would never stop until I was dead.
Oh, God.
I was like, my eyes opened, and I was like, holy shit, I can't ever get back with him. I can't ever get an apartment alone with him. He'd kill me. So that day I text him, and I'm like, fuck you. I can never look at you the same. You put your hands on me. I hate you. Fuck you. We're done. The next day, we FaceTimed, and he's like, do you mean it? And he's sobbing on the phone, and I'm like, I mean it. We're done. I can never look at you the same. I can't do this anymore. And I hung up, and I broke up with him. And the day that I broke up with him, I was outside with Emma for 5 or 6 hours. We spent the whole day outside talking. And I realized the truth because there was nobody in my ear to tell me the lies, the I love yous, and it didn't really happen, and I don't remember. I didn't mean it. It was only the straight truth. It was Emma saying what she's walked in on, what she's experienced, and me telling these stories and really having to live them that I realized I did have to end it. So I stood through with it, and I broke up with him that night on FaceTime. And it was really hard, and I was really sad. And I remember even after breaking up, I would send him text and I miss him, and he would text me and whatever. And I cared about him, and I still couldn't believe what he did to me, and I still was in denial. Until one day it changed, and it was about a week after we broke up. And I called him for the first time, because I was really upset. And I call him. And the first thing he says to me, is, are you going to talk about this online? Are you going to tell people about this?
Oh my God.
And I said, I don't know. I don't know how to share my story. I'm scared. I was like, I don't want to.
God.
I don't want people to look at me and only see what you did to me. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to talk about this. I don't know. And he said, good. Because if you talk about it, that means you don't love me and that you never loved me. He said, if you talk about this publicly, that means you never loved me.
Oh my fucking God.
And you know what? I never even fucking knew who you were.
Ooh.
I never even fucking knew who you were. After that phone call, when he said that, I hung up. And the next day, I went on live. And I said that we broke up. He texted me a whole paragraph saying that he basically didn't know why I had to do that. And
The fuck?
that was our last time texting. Now we're here. Oh, fuck. Hold on. It sucks because I don't even feel like it's all been told yet.
Jesus.
I feel like there's so much more. There's so many more stories, and I'm not done talking about it.
Good.
It's hard to talk about, but I also feel like I have to. And for a man to say that he loves you and then try to kill you that same day is just something I really hope nobody ever has to feel. I'm really out of tears to cry. There's so much more that happened that I'll share. But those were the main dates. Those were the main dates of abuse. Those were the main dates of assault. And those are the dates that have led me here to making this video and telling our story. And if you date anybody who's like this, he does not love you. He does not care about you. If he can hit you, he can kill you. This is not normal. Even the verbal shit alone is not normal, and it will turn into physical. This is not normal. He does not love you, and it will not get better. It will only get worse. These things don't go away. And at the end of the day, what I've realized is he never loved me. He hated me. He hated me from the day he met me. He never loved me, and I never knew who he was. Wow. The past 9 months of my life were a lie, but a lie that will forever have changed my life. And this has been the hardest 4 days I've had in a really long time, but I'm doing it for us and for you. So for that, thank you. And I'm really crashed out right now after talking about all of this. But I'm not done. I'm not done talking about this. This is for you, for us, and he doesn't love you. If you look at any of this, he does not love you. If you get in a relationship with somebody like this and you start seeing these signs leave, he does not love you. At the end of the day, he will kill you. And I know that if I never called my mom, if I stayed and I got an apartment with him, he would have killed me and I would not be here today.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I don't know how this video came out. There's no perfect way to tell these stories or a perfect way to make these videos, but this is our story, not just mine, and it's for us. So I love you guys, and he doesn't love.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, first of all, in my part 1 reaction, I talked about how I was a little bit delayed in talking about this because I've been traveling so much, and this is not a topic that I wanted to kind of half-ass. Specifically, the initial reaction of the first 2. We've been doing a lot of live streams recently, and it just didn't feel appropriate to react to this on a live stream with a back and forth with an audience because it is so personal. Obviously, in the comment section is different, but like a live back and forth, it can be distracting. And I've only had a couple days back home, in between shows. And like I said, we fly literally in a couple hours. But I'm so glad that I spent those kind of diving into this initially because, wow, this needed time to process. It needed time to sit with me. This is not something I wanted to rush, and I'm glad it wasn't. This is something that needs to be handled with care, and however much of that I'm able to do, I want to, try my best. And there's so much, that has happened since this. This came out, 3 weeks ago, I think? 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? And there have been so many stories that have came out from this, more so than this, that have added on, from Kayla saying more. We have Michaela Teston now speaking up. We have James Charles being thrown into the mix. We have people coming forward about the ex, and the fact that this series, he doesn't love you. If he does all these things to you, he'll do this, or if he doesn't. It's unfortunate that someone, who goes through something as traumatizing as this, kind of feels the need to have to talk about such a triggering time of their life to kind of get other people not to, go through with certain things that they did. But wow, the impact of a, probably 5 hour total, letting people know if this happens, it'll lead to this. I just think, not that it was, necessary in the grand scheme of, you shouldn't have to traumatize yourself as, someone who went through this in order to help other people, because again, it's so deeply personal. But the fact that you did is incredible, and the impact this series will have is insane. Muckers, there we go, reacting to part 2. We will dive into everything else past this. I will see you all later. I hope you're all doing very well, and goodbye.